They said you wanted to see me, Coach?
Yeah, man. Step on up into my office. It's HomeSpun Sports with Coach John Montgomery. Sports talk with a twist of down-home wisdom. Welcome, 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 welcome. You tuned in to HomeSpun Sports. It's sports talk with a twist of down-home wisdom. I am your host, John Montgomery, a.k.a. The Coach. I'm right here in good old H-Town, but way up there in Oklahoma City. My ride or die, the last P in the shell, my baby boy. What's up, Slim? What's up,
going
man?
on, Coach? What's going on, man? I can't call it. How you doing?
Oh, brother, let me tell you one thing. If I was doing any better, Slim, I'd either have to pay interest or be twins. I tell you.
I'll take the twin.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Hold on, Coach. We got a correction that we have to make from our last show. During my Slim Pickens, we mentioned about Nick Bosa, Joey Bosa going.
We talked about
injured.
Will Anderson. We talked about Will Anderson
and from Alabama.
We compared him because Will Anderson did not play, because Joey Bosa did not play his junior year, and we were debating whether Will Anderson should play. Yeah. We showed a picture of Nick
Bosa, his brother.
That
we're going to just correct that now.
And we wanted to correct that. The second amendment we're going to make to last week's show was we got to give props to a Tuskegee Golden Tiger Hall of Famer. That's very dear to me and to you, Slim. We got kinfolks in the Hall of Fame. Big shout out to Dr. Bruce Randolph, who, oh, by the way, is married to my sister, Dr. Mildred. Kinfolks, who is a member of the Tuskegee Golden Tiger Hall of Fame. Yeah. And now, our very special guest for show number 22. In a coaching career that has spanned 4 decades, has been a head football coach at a Division I program, the University of Alabama, Birmingham. He has been an offensive coordinator at 3 Power 5 schools, 2 in the Big Ten, University of Illinois, and Northwestern. He has been an offensive coordinator at the University of Arkansas. He was last the quarterback coach in 2021 under Dan Mullen at the University of Florida. This gentleman is widely considered one of the brightest offensive minds in college football. Ladies and gentlemen, please make welcome our very special guest and my homeboy, Tulsa Booker T Washington's own Coach Garrick McGee.
Yes, sir.
You gotta be my agent, man. I'm gonna pay you 3% for. You gonna be my agent.
Man. That's pretty good, Coach. 3%.
Man, Garrick, my brother. Thank you for taking the time to come and share with us at HomeSpun Sports. We go back a minute, Garrick.
Yeah, we do. You know, I know you're gonna get into it, but I'd like to say that me growing up, I heard before I even met you, I heard your name. I knew exactly who you were. Your name came up in my household over and over and over. And I was like, who is this Montgomery? Who is this guy? This must be the top recruiter in the country. That's what I thought.
Well, Garrick, man, let me tell you, we do go back a minute, and thank you, my brother. But where that got started, Coach Willie Jeffries, the first African American to be head football coach in Division I, at Wichita State, and Wichita, Kansas is about a 2-hour drive down to Tulsa, Oklahoma. And your father, the late great Larry McGee, a legend in Tulsa high school sports, a Langston Lion, and a first-class gentleman. They had a very special rapport, those two men. And Coach, your dad loved the trap option scheme. And Coach Jeffries would send me, Montgomery, get in the car, go down there to Booker T Washington, and Larry McGee and that staff on a clinic, or put on a clinic for them, run that triple option, that trap option, freeze option offense. I would get in the car, Slim, and drive down to Tulsa. Now, I'm in there at the blackboard, clinicking up stuff. Garrick's dad got the whole staff in there, and they taking notes. And all of a sudden, knock on the door, and Larry McGee, hold up, Coach, wait just a minute. Little kid, 8, 9-year-old, stick his head through the door. Daddy, give me some money. I want to go get me a Coke and some chips.
That's me.
That was me. Larry said, hold up, Coach, wait just a minute. Wait, come here, boy. Come here, boy. He reached in his pocket, give Garrett some money. First time I saw Garrick McGee. And so, yeah, man, but, the apple don't fall too far from the tree. Yeah.
You know what, Coach, man, I am blessed. I was really a coach's kid. I spent time on Sundays in high school. You play the game on Friday, you're off Saturday. Sunday, the coaches go in, have the meeting, study the film, get prepared for the next game. I was the kid that went to the Sunday meetings, and I was in the 4th grade, and I would just sit in there. And I never forget when they got back from the Oklahoma State coaches clinic.
Okay.
And they were on the board in there, and my pop said the single receiver to the open side, they're calling him the X receiver now.
Okay.
And then to the tight end side or to the strong side, that's not the flanker anymore. They're calling him the Z now.
There you go.
I remember that when I was in the 4th or 5th grade.
See.
And, I still to this day, I like drawing the routes, just hand drawing, because I remember those stencils that my dad would get from every clinic, and I would do it nonstop. I was just drawing stuff over and over. So
come on now.
I'm a coach's kid. I enjoy being in the meeting room for hours and hours and hours.
That's all
because that's how I grew up. Yes,
that's all a part of it, Larry.
Yeah, Coach.
And the apple don't fall too far from the tree. And I
got another good story for you.
Okay.
I was coaching for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
All right.
Coach Jeffries was having a game on the field. We were they said there's a game going on. I think he was at South Carolina State at the time. I knew that was Coach Jeffries' team. I never met him though, but I knew who Willie Jeffries was from my household. Okay. So I go out on the field and I walk right out there. They're in pregame warm-up. I walk right out in the middle of the field. Coach Jeffries is standing there. I introduce myself. And hey, Coach, I'm Garrick McGee. I'm coaching for the Jaguars now, Tulsa, Oklahoma. And he stopped me and he says, "Are you Larry McGee's son?" And I said, "Yes, sir, that's me." And it was over. It was over. We talked. He almost missed the warm-ups and everything. We started talking, man. I got a lot of respect for Coach Jeffrey. He stopped everything when he found out who my dad was.
And Garrick, let me tell you something. The admiration was real, and well, it should have been, because not only was your dad a first-class man, your father had a stock reply, because he would say, and it was some great players that came through Booker T Washington, and Larry McGee did not mince his position on it. He said, "Now understand something. If they listen to me, I don't care if they can go to Oklahoma or Oklahoma State, anywhere in the country, but if they listen to me, I'm gonna say first go to Langston." Okay. He said, but if they don't want to go there, I understand some of them have D1 ability.
That's right.
Second place I'm going to tell them to go is Wichita State and play for Willie Jeffries. And I was in the same meeting when he called. Your dad called me and said, call Coach Jeffries. He said, Coach, I got a boy down there who can play. Better come get him. Everybody want him. What's his name? Guy Troop. Phew, in the car I go down to Tulsa. Signed Guy Troop. Next time he called, your dad called and said, Coach, I got a kid can play. Coach Jeffries said, what's his name? I said, Kevin Rucker. And Lord, could he play?
Beast.
So I get the car again. I get the car again. And down there I went. So we were indebted to your father, his spirit, and he sure enough did send us some quality players.
Coach, you mentioned being a coach's kid. I just want to touch on that briefly. Sitting up in my dad's meeting, all I heard for the majority of my life is foot to crotch relationship. I mean, that as an offensive lineman, you keep foot to crotch relationship, block half the man, you're gonna give him a two-way go. I mean, that's all I heard, Coach.
You know what though? What you heard was masterful stuff, because not only if you're an offensive lineman blocking a defensive lineman, you need to have foot to crotch. But let's say I'm a receiver or runner and I'm running in open space.
Now look out.
And I get out there in open field and it's time for me to make my moves or try to beat the guy one-on-one and turn a 8-yard play into an explosive play. I got to attack half of that guy. And when I make my move, my foot to crotch should work to get me halfway past him. So that coaching point doesn't just apply to O-line, D-line blocking. That's how you play this game.
Yes, sir.
Is foot to crotch. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Now, Coach, there are only 2 historically black high schools in the state of Oklahoma. You went to one of them, Booker T Washington. I went to the other one, Douglas High School. Talk about
the Baby Hornets. That's the Baby Hornets.
You know it, Coach. You know it. You know it. I'll take the Trojans though. But anyway, tell me about that. The rich tradition of Booker T Washington High School.
Well, we take a lot of pride in that school. There's times when you're a college coach that you cannot promote, or on social media, you can't retweet something that's promoting a high school. But what I do is I go to the compliance office everywhere that I work, and I make sure they understand that this is a different situation here, that I have to promote this school. One, because my dad was a part of building a tradition at this school that lasts forever. And there's Booker T Washington in Miami, Florida. It's a really good program. There's Booker T Washington in Houston, Texas. But they're all Baby Hornets to us, man. I was in the airport a few years ago, and I was standing in line next to a guy. He was a white guy. And we just started talking because we were waiting to get on the flight. He said he was from Tulsa. I asked him what high school he went to. He said he went to Booker T Washington. He graduated in '84. And me and him hit it off, exchanged numbers. We've been in contact ever since. I never met the guy before. That's the tradition of our school. And we take a lot of pride in it. Just the history and how, man, Charlie Wilson from the Gap Band graduated from Booker T Washington.
Yeah.
Kenny
Greenwood, Arthur, and Pine.
Kenny Mundy, the wrestler who went and won the Olympic gold medal and won a couple of. You're talking about Wayman Tisdale.
Yep.
There's a guy that's writing for Sex in the City and Scandal and those shows. He's a Booker T Washington grad. There's Amber Valletta, the supermodel who's in all the movies. So people see us in our program as an athletic program.
It's diverse. It's diverse.
Basketball.
It's way better than that.
But we win the debate championship at our school. We win the academic. This school is rated the third best high school in the state of Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Regardless of any high school in regards to academics.
The Pulitzer Prize writer, John Hope Franklin.
That's right.
Tulsa.
That's right.
Booker T Washington.
Historian.
I was able to meet him. Yeah, I met
Presidential
him.
Medal of Freedom.
That's right.
Hey.
We take a lot of pride in it.
Listen,
that's our school. I tell you another thing. We all know the fight song and the school song like that. That we everybody that went to that school, we know the school song, regardless of how old we are. We can recite the school song that fast.
The first African American to make All-American at the University of Oklahoma football, the great Granville Liggins.
Who? That's another legend.
Tulsa Booker T Washington, number 66.
Oh,
number
that's 66. A legend to us. He's a total. You know, we had guys. I mean, Coach Lacey is to us. Coach Lacey taught. He was my first coach. Coach Lacey. I was on the field. I was on the field at my middle school. I started playing ball in the 5th grade.
Okay.
Coach Lacey was on the field watching us practice, and I wanted to be a wide receiver.
Oh man!
Wow! And the coach said was Coach Mays was our coach, and Coach Mays said, "Everybody come over here and throw the ball." Well, I could throw, so that rep that I got throwing, I mean, it was a spiral. It hit the guy where it's supposed to hit, and Coach Mays said, "You stay right here at this quarterback spot," and I never moved that whole time. I've been a quarterback ever since. But it was Coach Bo Tiger, who just passed away, and it was Coach Lacey who saw me as a 5th grader and said, "You could be a quarterback." And they started working with me.
Garrett, you talked about this, and I want to bring this to the attention of our audience, because people talk about Booker T Washington. I recruited that school. Yes, academics were a standard. Kids who came from Booker T Washington had grades. The other thing about Booker T Washington must be duly noted is that and you grew up in the state of Oklahoma. Yes, Boomer Sooner, that's the top dog. It's an iconic program. But here's a fact. Kids from Booker T Washington will leave there. It's diverse in their thinking. Out of Booker T Washington, highly recruited, you chose Arizona State. Eric Johnson went to Georgia. I remember Arthur Thomas could jump out of the gym. Arizona State.
Terry Toomey went to
UCLA. University of Arkansas.
Hey, Terry Toomey, UCLA, now the athletic director at Fresno State.
Yes, sir.
I remember the great John Winesberry. And talking about the support, Slim, of Tulsa Booker T Washington's Booster Club, John Winesberry was a hell of a receiver at Stanford, caught passes for Jim Plunkett. And the Booster Club at Tulsa Booker T Washington, when John Winesberry played in the Rose Bowl, sent the whole team out from Tulsa to Pasadena, California, to watch the Rose Bowl, the Booster Club at Tulsa Booker T Washington. Wow. Coach Lacey raised the money to send Coach Lacey and that team, the high school team, out to watch Booker T Washington alumnus John Winesberry.
Yeah, man. You know, Reggie Brooks and Tony Brooks, they went to Notre Dame. I mean, Dax Hill is up there at Michigan playing right now. You know, he's from the school, so we believe in that, man. It's a culture that's built when we're all back home in the summertime and we see each other. I remember Dax's little brother that went to Oklahoma State, the running back.
Okay.
I was in the school recruiting. He said, "I'm the best running back to ever play at Booker T." I said, "Hold on, man, just sit down right now." I got on the board and I listed about 20 running backs. And I said, "Listen, man, you're just in the club now. If we come and have a celebration, you can come because you are great. But quit saying you're the best ever at this place, man." There are guys that were backups, man, that are incredible players.
No question. Garrett, you signed with Arizona State out of high school. You transferred to Oklahoma. Garrett, this transfer portal, man, this thing is going to change the dynamic of college football. Talk to us about your take on the transfer portal.
Well, I think it's a hot topic right now because it's a new rule that's going on, right? And so I think there's layers to it. You have the transfer portal, But the other rule that people don't talk about much is the one-time transfer rule that went with the transfer portal, which means you have the right to transfer one time while you're in college to another program.
Okay.
Now, when you add that rule with the transfer portal, now you have free agency. And think about this. I got some numbers for you here. There were, in this particular season, there were 911 scholarship football players that hit the portal. 243 of them, which is 27%, they are actively on another roster.
Okay.
But there's 636 players, which is right under 75% of the players. They're still stuck in the portal because there's too many players in the portal and there's not enough slots. That's one take that I have on the portal.
Okay.
The other thing that I have on the portal is, if I'm a head coach, like back in the day, high school players, that's who you recruited. And then you went out and recruited junior college players to fill some spots, Band-Aids, some spots. Well, now, I mean, you don't have 4 years to develop a high school player.
Okay.
Especially when there's 75% of the guys in the portal are still sitting there.
Okay.
That if I have a decision to make between a high school running back and a transfer portal running back who's already been in a system, been in a program, has lifted weights, and he's big and strong, I'm going to take the transfer portal kid. He's more developed. So what has happened with the portal is the high school kids and the poor junior college players are not even getting recruited at all anymore.
Yeah.
And so we all talk about just the movement of the athletes and of the players, but the high school players and the junior college players, they're the ones that are taking the hit, you know, in the portal. Because I know Florida State, I read an article that said Florida State last year, out of their 25 scholarship guys, they signed 12 guys from the portal.
Wow. Wow.
So think about that's 12 high school players that did not get the opportunity to play for the Seminoles.
Wow.
So that's where it's changed. Another thing with the portal is tampering. It's another thing we don't talk about.
Yeah.
That, you know, you keep in contact with the kid's high school coach.
Okay.
He goes to another school, you recruit him, you don't get him. He goes to another school, you keep in contact with the high school coach because you're still recruiting other players. And it's like, hey, what's going on with Johnny?
Yeah.
Well, Johnny's not playing. I didn't see him play. Next thing you know, Johnny's in the portal and Johnny's transferring back to my program.
And Garrick, they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing.
That's what, or if you think about this, after the game is over and you're walking across the field to shake hands and say good job and all of that, and you walk across and you find a player that you recruited and you say, I didn't see you play. What's going on?
Come on, man.
And he says, man, I didn't get the opportunity. I don't know what's going on. And then you end up saying, hey, man, you got a one-time transfer rule. You can hit the portal and come to our place and play. That's not what we're supposed to be doing in this business. That is not the way it was set up and the way, you know, Bud Wilkinson and Coach Bryant and Barry Swift, they didn't want it done like that. But that's what the portal has done to us.
Ain't no question. Garrett, you've done it all, man. And black coaches in this business, they address this. How do we grow as African-American coaches? You came through the loop. You came through Langston University.
I started at Langston. Yes, sir.
I was the offensive coordinator at Langston, 91, 92, and 93. Tony Green, who I know you know well, is coming on our show. The defensive coordinator at Baylor women's basketball, he came through Langston University. How do we grow as African-American coaches professionally?
I think that I saw the show with Coach Caldwell. He talked about the NFL QB Summit.
Okay.
I mean, all 4 years, when he said we flew into Atlanta the first year on our own dollar and got the summit started, I was one of the originators of the summit.
Wow.
I've been in. They have blessed me. Coach Caldwell, Coach Jimmy Ray, Shaq Harris, Doug. They've blessed me to be one of the speakers every single year of the summit.
Okay.
Nice.
And what the way that we change this is that we invest in the development of young coaches.
Okay.
That, like me, this is my 25th year. Okay. That's a long stretch at this level. I've been really blessed.
Yeah.
But
Coach.
so it may be past my time to be a head football coach at a Power 5 university, but I can influence and develop a young coach and not teach him the offenses and the defenses and X's and O's, but teach him how to operate as a college football coach. How you dress, how you handle the media, how do you handle staff environment, how do you present yourself at all times, how to function and be a decision maker. I can be a part of that, and if we get enough guys and we flood the market with coaches who are ready on all levels, they're ready, then I think we can make change. I think we can make change, and that's what the Quarterback Summit is all about. It's about the development of the coaches.
Okay. Now, Garrett, before we get out of here, got 2 big games today.
Oh yeah.
Got 2 big games today. We've got Buffalo and Kansas City tonight.
Ooh.
And that's gonna be 2 premier quarterbacks. You're a quarterback guru. And then the first game today, we got Tampa Bay taking on the Rams.
Yeah.
So it's
at 2 o'clock.
It's 4 big time quarterbacks going to go today,
and they're going to get it on. They're going to get it on too.
So
what's your take, Coach? What's your take?
Everybody gonna be a genius this time tomorrow. Tell us today what's going to happen.
That's easy. Whoever wins the turnover battle. Whoever wins the turnover battle. When you have elite, high-level quarterbacks, I mean, you're talking about 4 of the top guys in the game. 4 of the best. So that's going to be back and forth when it comes to decision-making, processing the situations of the game, understanding when to check it down, when to go forward, the defensive structure checks. We're talking high-level quarterback play on both games.
Okay.
Whoever wins the turnover battle will win the game. Whoever wins the turnover battle will win the game. That's how it works.
All right, now, homeboy. You ain't running for no political office. I want to know Tampa Bay or LA head-to-head, who win the game?
I think the Rams will win.
Okay.
And the reason for that is I think that Odell Beckham Jr. and the pass rusher from Denver Broncos,
Von
Miller.
Those 2 pickups in the middle of the season are elite playoff caliber pickups. And I think that the Rams defensive front, they have the ability to rush the passer with 4 guys so that they can play coverage. And they don't have to send an extra guy and lose a guy in coverage to get to the quarterback. I think that I really think the Rams will find a way. I think it's Matthew Stafford's time. Obviously, we respect Tom Brady. We know that this is the expert playing the position. But I think those 2 pickups in the middle of the season, that might tip the scale.
That tips. Garrett, my sentiment exactly. I tell you something, Garrett. Talking about the Rams. If your Cooper Kupp's going to probably draw the number 1 cover guy. Well, if your number 2 corner has to stick Odell Beckham, brother, you in trouble. You're in trouble. All right. The game tonight, Pat Mahomes against Josh Allen. Who wins that game, Garrett?
I like Buffalo. I think they play the right way. But I don't know the Kansas City at night.
Oh, come on now.
I don't know the Kansas City. You can beat Kansas City at night. in Kansas City. Now, I was born in Kansas City. I lived there for 2 years. So I think it's going to be hard to beat those.
Garrick, you talked about a man you and I both know well, Jim Caldwell. We had Jim on the show a couple of weeks ago, and Jim brought up a very interesting point. You play Kansas City. When the Kansas City offense lines up, it's all about defensively how you are going to deploy the other 9. Because I'm going to tell you something. When Tyreek Hill comes out there,
you're going to need 2.
It's going to be 1 in front of him and then 1 behind him.
Stacked.
So it's all about, when you play Kansas City, what do you do with those other 9? Because I'm going to tell you where 2 of them going to be.
And you know what? And one of them is going to have to watch Patrick Mahomes at all.
Somebody that's
So there's another one that you're going to have to use up.
There you go.
I just think that, you look at Andy Reid, you're talking about in the world that young hotshot coaches are the hot thing. You're talking about an experienced, for lack of better words, this is a wise guy. And he's got Bieniemy. He's got Mike Kafka, who was one of my quarterbacks, coaching the quarterback. Those guys, it's going to be hard to beat those guys at home unless that football bounces the other way and they turn it over a couple of times. It's all about turnovers.
It's all about turnovers.
We saw it last night. There was a punt block last night that changed everything.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Garrick, listen, my brother, thank you so very much for taking the time out of your busy schedule. I know you got a lot of things going on. And, man, you have blessed our show. God bless you in your career. And
it was a pleasure, Coach.
And we certainly appreciate it, bro.
Yes, sir.
It was a pleasure having you on.
Coach, for having me on.
Thanks, man. Take care, my brother. Thank you so much.
Take care, Coach.
Yes, sir.
Take care, Garrick. All right.
Wow. So I'm going to go ahead and assume that I'm the only person that's got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Chiefs winning tonight, right?
Slim, I got the Chiefs winning, but I think Los Angeles is going to win. And we're going to get back to that. But first, it's time once again for Slim's Pickins. Take it away, bro.
All right. The Buffalo Bills are 0-3 in road playoff games under head football coach Sean McDermott. And make no mistake about it, ladies and gentlemen, if the Buffalo Bills are going to defeat the Kansas City Chiefs this evening, they're going to have to do it on the strength of their defense. Coordinated by none other than Alcorn State's own Leslie Frazier. Shout out to Coach Frazier. The 11-6 Bills are riding a 5-game winning streak and are averaging 15.4 points per game giving up. No doubt, the great head football coach, inductee, College Football Hall of Fame, Marino H. Chasm, a.k.a. the Godfather, is smiling down from heaven right now at his star pupil. The first annual Legacy Bowl to enhance and showcase HBCU talent will be played February 19th at Yeoman Stadium in New Orleans. The coaching staff will be represented by 2 co-head football coach. The CIAA and MEAC will be dubbed Team Gaither after FAMU legend Jake Gaither. The SIAC and SWAC teams will be dubbed Team Robinson after Grambling legend and icon Eddie Robinson. And speaking of star coaching, a big shout out to our special guest from episode 17 of HomeSpun Sports, Morgan State University's own head football coach, Tyrone Wheatley, on being selected to be one of the coaches in the 73rd annual Reese Senior Bowl. Oh, I'm so glad somebody called Tyrone. Way to go, Coach. Stay tuned, sports fans. And that's Slim's Pickins.
Hell of a job, Slim. Hell of a job, man. You mentioned Marino Chasm and his star pupil, Leslie Frazier.
Mm-hmm.
I was Marino Chasm's last offensive coordinator when he came to Southern University in 1988.
No joke.
Oh, man, the Godfather. The Godfather.
Now, we're not talking about the movie, no. No, we're not talking about the movie.
No, I'm talking about Marino H. Chasm, Alcorn State, Southern University, College Football Hall of Fame, the Godfather. Sam,
no.
let me tell you something, man. You talk about a grinder and a disciplinarian and a visionary. Dude, we swept the month of November, won the Bayou City Classic, starting 3 true freshmen in the offensive line, and Marino Chasm, a great coach and a great mentor of coaches. And Leslie Frazier certainly exemplifies that, no question.
Now, so, Coach, like college football, we got off the topic a little bit, but going back, did you see Kirk Ferentz disbanded his diversity committee at the University of Iowa?
Yeah, I did, Slim. This was a committee formed in light of George Floyd's murder, Breonna Taylor's murder, Ahmaud Arbery's murder, to discuss.
Say their name,
and oh, by the way, you firing your strength coach, Chris Doyle, for making racist comments to your black football players at the University of Iowa. Yeah, and so to form this committee led by one of his former players, led by one of his former players. Now, you know, your players know you, Slim, okay? And so this committee was designed to discuss the insensitivity, the players' opinion of what's going on in the football program. Now, understand something. You walk in the football office at the University of Iowa, you got 37 people on the payroll. I counted them. If you go to the staff directory, 37. You've got 8. You hear me? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 out of 37 people of color on the payroll at the University of Iowa. Okay. Chris Doyle was the strength coach. They replaced him with an African American. Neither one of your coordinators, offensively or defensively, African American. The special team coach, African American. Understand, you're in Iowa City, Iowa, a city of 174,000 people with an African American population of around 7,000 people. This ain't a haven for black social development. Okay, this is
about 10%, Coach.
What?
That's about 10%.
Absolutely,
10% of the city of the population of African Americans in Iowa City are African American.
Absolutely. This is not Athens, Georgia / University of Georgia. This is not Tuscaloosa, Alabama, with Birmingham, Alabama, 30 minutes down the road. This is not Los Angeles, California, UCLA, University of Southern California. This is Iowa City, Iowa. Okay? And you dismantle this committee? Okay? You got a black student athlete walking that building. It's 37 people on the payroll and only 8 of them that look like him. And you had a committee? What?
I wouldn't feel comfortable.
And you had a committee designed to enhance, to bring about some type of social awareness about what's going on concerning these black players. You done already had a strength coach that you had to fire, and you dismantled the committee? Yeah. Well, I ain't feeling you on that, Kurt.
Coach, not only did he disband the committee, but he got a pay raise. He got his contract extended through 2029.
Absolutely. No question. So I will follow that situation at Iowa with keen interest. No question about it.
Now, Coach, we got pro football.
All right.
We're going to do this thing where it's called facilitate or flush. We got a lot of these quarterbacks, like we was talking about in the interview with Coach McGee. We got a lot of these quarterbacks going to be playing today. We got Kyler Murray.
Well, Kyler Murray ain't playing, but I see where you're coming from.
You see where? Okay.
There is going to be. It's a quarterback-driven league. Number one.
Yes.
And next year, with quarterbacks, there's going to be some high-level free agent quarterbacks. Russell Wilson ain't going to be in Seattle.
Yep.
Deshaun Watson ain't going to be in Houston. You probably seen the last of Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay. Okay, it's going to be some high-level switching of free agent quarterback. Coupled along with the fact that this is not a bumper crop of draft picks as far as quarterbacks concerned. You got the quarterback at Liberty, that Malik Willis kid. He's a big time quarterback. You got the quarterback at Pitt, Pickett. You got the quarterback at Pitt, and you got that Corral kid from Ole Miss.
From Ole Miss, yeah.
So you got three in college, and probably about another 3 in the NFL.
Yeah.
So with these quarterbacks in several key positions on their current teams, are you going to facilitate them? You going to enhance them? You
give them some help.
You going to give them some help? Thank you. Or you going to flush them? No question.
Yeah. So with Arizona, coach, facilitate a flush.
With Kyler Murray, I tell you what I'm gonna do, Slim. I am going to facilitate Kyler. I'm gonna keep the porch light on for Kyler. I'm gonna facilitate Kyler. Here's what we know. At one time in the season, Arizona was 8-1. They finished this season 11-7.
11-7.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. They were totally embarrassed. 34-11 when they played the Rams. Okay, to get eliminated in the playoffs. I do believe this. If Kyler Murray can make it, he won't make it under the tutelage of Cliff Kingsbury. So I'm going to facilitate Kyler Murray.
Wow. Okay. Next on the list, coach, we got Carson Wentz.
Carson Wentz. I tell you what I'm going to do with Carson Wentz. You know, Slim, I'm going to flush Carson Wentz, but I'm going to tell you something. It's going to be a little different type of flush. You know, when you know you done drank too much milk, or you know you done ate too much fried chicken, and you fart once or twice, and you know how that's going to smell.
Yeah.
Come on, man, you know, Slim, before that even hit the water, you give that what they call a courtesy flush.
Courtesy flush, go.
I'm gonna give Carson Wentz not just a regular flush. I'm gonna flush Carson Wentz before it even hit the water. I ain't gonna let that linger around in the bowl. I'm gonna give. Here's what we know. Here's what we know about the Indianapolis Colts and Carson Wentz. Indianapolis Colts has 7 Pro Bowlers. Still didn't make the playoffs. There was a streak in the 2021 season when the Indianapolis Colts won 8 out of 10 games. Okay? And Slim, the Indianapolis Colts on Christmas Day beat the Arizona Cardinals 22-16. And according to Next Gen Stats, that made the Colts have a 98% chance of going to the playoffs. And they still didn't make it.
Stat that, coach.
Listen, Slim, the Indianapolis Colts had a young man on their team named Jonathan Taylor, who led the league in rushing, ran for 1,811 yards, Slim, at 5.5 per clip. And they still didn't make the playoffs. So I ain't going to just, Slim, I'm not just going to regular flush Carson Wentz. I'm going to get Carson Wentz a courtesy flush. I ain't going to even let it hit the water. But I know it's going to stink. So there, down they go. No question.
That last on, coach. Danny Jones.
Daniel Jones. New York Giants. I'm going to facilitate Daniel Jones. And the only one reason that I'm going to do it, a lot of people thought Daniel Jones could play when he came out of Duke. Okay?
Yeah.
A lot of people, and I was one of them. Okay? Now, they just hired a new GM. This guy, Joe Schoen. They just hired a new GM, and Joe Schoen's background is Buffalo Bills. Okay? The Bills have interviewed Leslie Frazier, you talked about him in your pickings. Okay.
Yep.
The D coordinator from Buffalo. They've also interviewed Brian Daboll, the offensive coordinator at Buffalo.
Okay.
And so I'm going to keep the porch light on and say facilitate Daniel Jones, because I think if they can't go wrong with either one of those hires. If they either hire Leslie Frazier or Brian Daboll. So I'm gonna keep the porch light on for him, no question.
All right. So now while we talk, we still got a little football on the topic, Coach.
All right.
We got some games today.
All right.
We'll try to go over Coach McGee. Who you got? Buffalo Bills, Kansas City.
Buffalo Bills, Kansas City. Again, it's all gonna be how is Leslie Frazier gonna deploy the other 9? Because when the Kansas City offense takes to the field, wherever Tyreek Hill lines up, it's going to be one in front of Tyreek and one in front of the guy behind Tyreek. Okay, one on the top of him. And so it's now, how is Leslie Frazier going to deploy the other 9? But I still contend that with Travis Kelce, they get that Edwards-Helaire kid back to running back. I like Kansas City at home to win that game. No question.
Got Kansas City. Because I got the Chiefs too, but let me give you a reason why. No other team has ever beaten the Chiefs 2 times after winning the first time in the same season. Not the 91 Raiders, not the 97 Broncos, not the 2019 Texans, and not the 2021 Steelers.
Okay.
That place is hard to win 2 times in a row, Coach, especially at home.
Okay.
Next game on the list, we got the Rams and Tampa Bay. Who you got?
You know what? My heart wants Todd Bowles, the defensive coordinator at Tampa Bay, to get another Super Bowl ring, because I'm pulling for Todd to get one of these 8 jobs that's open. Okay. But the coach in me that wants to be right says the Rams, and here's why. Like we talked about when we had Garrick on the show, Cooper Kupp is probably going to draw the top cover guy. That means your second best cover guy has to stick Odell Beckham. That's a tough assignment. That Odell Beckham's going to win, okay? Because he's a legitimate number 1. The second thing is Von Miller, who has 5 sacks in the last 5 games. Oh, by the way, great edge rush. Aaron Donald coming down the middle, great interior rush. They've also got one of the best lockdown corners in Jalen Ramsey. And we already know that the Wirfs kid from Tampa Bay is not going to play in this game. And that backup tackle from Tampa Bay, Von Miller, going to eat him alive. So I want Tampa Bay to win, but the part of me, the coach that wants to be right, says that LA wins this game. No question.
Okay. Coach, now the Rams, 25th offensive rating in rushing. The Bucks, 3rd in defense when it comes to the rush. You said it yourself. Possession is 9/10 of the law. History will not repeat itself from September 26th, and Cooper Kupp is coming off the coldest game of his career. I got Tampa Bay, and look for them to apply Leonard Fournette, and he's gonna run all over the Chargers defense.
Well, okay, you got Tampa Bay, I got LA. It's about to start. Slim, I'm gonna get out of my glad rags, get comfortable, and watch it all.
All right, Coach. Hey, tell Mom I love her, all right?
I will, buddy. Give my best to everybody in Oklahoma City.
You know I will, Coach. Take care.
All right, buddy. Take care. And finally, earlier in the week, Dallas Cowboy Hall of Fame wide receiver Michael Irvin said, "Our stars did not show up when the Dallas Cowboys were defeated in the playoff game. No shiitake mushroom, Sherlock. No, the Dallas Cowboys stars didn't show up. The Dallas Cowboys are a dysfunctional organization. And why are you lamenting and crying about the stars didn't show up? Why don't you show that much nerve and pick up the phone and call Jerry Jones and say what the man who made you famous, Jimmy Johnson, would have said to Jerry Jones? Shut up and quit trying to run the football team because you're not a coach. And there's your trouble with the Dallas Cowboys. You want to know what's wrong on the offense? Don't ask Mike McCarthy. Ask Jerry Jones. He knows. Want to know what's wrong with the defense? Don't ask head coach Mike McCarthy. Ask Jerry Jones. He knows. It's a dysfunctional organization. And the last time they were right, the very man who couldn't keep his job because he knew what he was doing, he would not listen to someone who didn't know what he was doing. Please. No, the stars didn't show up, Michael Irvin. And they ain't gonna never show up. And you ain't gonna never win because the wrong person is leading your organization. And hey, that's how I see it. 6 o'clock, straight up and down.
America's team, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
So look, ladies and gentlemen, that's how we see it, and that's how it is. Thank God we get to do this again. Thank you so much for Coach Garrick McGee for being our special guest on episode 22. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, you can catch HomeSpun Sports not only for your viewing pleasure on YouTube, but now on Spotify and iHeartRadio for your listening pleasure as well. Don't forget to hit the like button. All three of them, Coach. Don't forget to hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Make sure you have those bells turned on so you don't miss a single minute of our premium content. It's all live, it's all for you, and it's all for real. Again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning into this week's episode of HomeSpun Sports. We know you enjoyed it, and we're going to have it out for you as soon as possible. Hey, Coach.
Yeah, man.
Let's go ahead and get up out of here, bro.
And you said about a word. What he said. Bang. Hey. All right.